If you know the enemy and know yourself, you need not fear the results of 100 battles. If you know yourself but not the enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer a defeat. If you know neither enemy nor yourself, you will succumb in every battle. The Art of War by Sun Tzu. Jin. Even from here, 3 blocks away, I can feel the small shockwaves from the school as the walls crash down. It's one of the last buildings to be demolished, the chalk-stained, whitewashed walls in which I completed my schooling. Dust is dislodged in my room, and it drifts in small currents towards the window. I've lived here in my parents' house forever. I'm itching to leave. I want to fly away. The door still has my name carved in it from my school days, Jen E. If you're a foreigner reading this, you may say my name as Jen E. My parents have already stuck the red double happiness paper cutout above my name, even though the wedding is weeks away. I feel the lightness of the bag in my hand. It's ready to be filled with memories from here. My fiancé's son will come tonight after work to pick me up, and we will spend our first night in the tiny flat with flaking walls we have rented across the city. This will all be an open secret, of course, something everyone knows is happening but no one talks about. We can't officially start living together until our wedding night. Son said he will borrow his cousin's car, an old VW Santana that breaks down more often than it completes a trip, to rescue me from my parents. My mother is trying to paper over her sadness about me going, and the avalanche of other things. She shoves food at me as I go back out into the living room. She's made tea in her chipped enamel cups. I say no to food. It looks reheated and dead. She doesn't seem to have the energy to cook fresh food each day now. She looks pale, too thin, like the part of her I know is wilting. She says she's glad that the school is gone. She says it was old and mouldy, but her eyes betray a different feeling. There are no more shockwaves now. My father is by the front window cleaning up glass, sweeping it up into an old cracked red dustbin. Someone smashed the front window last night using a broken piece of concrete. The lights reflected from the glass buzz around him, flies around the dying. Last week they jammed pig shit in the guttering. The week before that, they burnt my mother's clothes. That was the last straw for her. That was when she passed out for the first time. The property company desperately want us gone. Ours is the last house left on site undemolished. My father has turned our house into what we call a nail house. It is a name given to a family's home when the owners are offered money to move so that it can be demolished, but they refuse to leave. It's a pun that refers to nails that are stuck in wood and can't be pulled out, and my father is the nail. We have even been in the papers. Photo of my father on the roof, defiantly pelting attackers with rocks. He is our family's greatest embarrassment. He has some old-fashioned idea about this being his home, but it's just a sad, sagging old building that needs tearing down. Some of our family friends have already moved into new flats across town with aircon and sealed windows. I had respect for my father when I thought he was just hanging out for a better compensation package, but I despaired when he started ranting about our rights. The tea burns my lip. I blow gently across the steaming surface of the liquid and watch my mother through the fog. She goes to the kitchen to wash up, and I can see her from here. Her hands are shaking, and I tell her to stop, but she ignores me. My father does nothing. I can hear the sound of shattered glass scratching across the concrete floor like gnashing dragon's teeth as he continues to sweep, lost in his own battle. I sigh and leave my tea, so I head for the kitchen to stop my mother washing up. I look at the clock, willing it forwards. In a few hours, someone will rescue me from all this shit. Lyndon. How could I end up somewhere so grey, so cold, cocooned in concrete and smog at the end of the world? I close my eyes against an icy gust of wind and I see in it her nasty smile. The image tightens my stomach, brings the anger up into my throat. The end of a relationship haunts you in ways other things don't. It hounds you through the beginnings of your new life. China seemed to be the best place to forget Julie's face. Somewhere far enough away, big enough, where a bankrupt person can work off their debt. I open my eyes. They don't seem to understand my English, and I don't understand them, but they smile nonetheless with their cigarette-stained teeth and touched-up carbon fibre black hair. It started to snow. It settles on our coats like icing sugar on puff pastry. I look up constantly at the small stage next to us to see if we will begin soon, but there's only a lonely microphone there now. We are outside our office building in the city. My 7th day in China. 7 days of semi-comprehensible ceremonies and planning meetings. We stomp around in hats and gloves and heavy coats trying to keep warm, but I'm optimistic today. This is the official start of the project, the start of what I hope will be actual work. I gaze up at a banner above the stage with the company name Gold and Double Lucky Property Group printed across it, and below that, Making Luxury Home Future First Class World in Modern Harmonious China. For all to see, with its lost articles and muddy meaning. Finally, 3 beautiful girls in long red traditional dresses and high heels wobble up on stage, and we are pointed at, the translator and I, beckon to join them. We clamber up and stand to the right of the pretty girls, while others file on stage to the left. One of them is the CEO. I've only seen his photograph in the city offices, above the front entrance, as a young man smoking cigarettes with a former premier, the one-time head of the country. The image is blown up to garish proportions, maybe a metre wide, a totem of power. It arrests you as you walk in, presses you down, reminding you how powerful he is. The white man from over the ocean who smokes cigarettes with Jiang Zemin isn't to be fucked with.